Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the landing page. It's a small landing page I have done. You can see some transition and a header and a bottom, a scroll down section. This is the design I took from the Dribble. I have already created a component called the vortex, and let's go to that Visual Studio and just start. This is the HTML and I have that vortex.component.scss. First I'm going to create a div and class called wrap. It's a parent div. Inside that div, inside that one more section, and we have three section: header section, and the bottom of that header, that left hand side some text and right hand side image, and below that we have a yellow color section. Inside that section I have added a class called container, and I'm going to create that header section. Inside that header we have an image like logo. Just add the logo path and set the width 100 pixel and the alt tag also, and add one more div and called menu. Inside that menu we have some menus called courses, resources, news, and etc. Just add all those menus. And that login and sign up, the right hand side there is a section, so I have add one more div and the login and sign up. Login inside an anchor tag, and that button on button I have added that sign up label. First just save and run. For that wrap, inside that wrap container I'm going to style that container. Set the max width 1200 pixel and the margin set to 0 auto. We need to import that flex layout module. If you don't know how to install layout module in Angular 80, I have already created a video. Let's go and check it out. I'm just wrapping all the logo, menu, and right hand side button in one more div and add flex 100%, fx plus 100%, and the layout set to raw. The layout gap set to 20 pixel and the layout align set to space between center. Space between means each element have equally space aligned. The logo on the left hand side and the menu on the center portion and the button on the right hand side. Now we are going to style the header section. Header I just add the padding 40 pixel for the top and bottom, and the left and right 0 pixel. For the section, we have added padding 20 pixel and the left right 0 pixel and reducing the header padding 20. For the wrap class, I have added that font size 16 pixel and the line height 24 pixel. Wrap is our parent class, that's why I have added that font size for that class. I have added one more class called flex, and inside that flex class set the display set to flex and the gap set to 40 pixel. Gap 40 is another class, and for that menu I have added that class called flex and the gap 40. Now you can see the gap between each menu, it's a 40 pixel. I'm going to add one more class, gap 60, and set the gap 60 for that class, and also gap 20 and set 20 for that gap 20 class, so that we can use gap classes wherever we want. And for that anchor tag and button, just add a style code cursor pointer. For the right hand side button and login section, add a class called flex and the gap set to 40 pixel. Inside the header, style that anchor tag in a menu class, font weight set to 500 pixel. Not 500 pixel, for set to 500 only. The font weight set to, have added FW400 class. Inside that class, just set the font weight 400, and same thing for that 500, 600 and 700. So if we write like class like this, we can use the wherever we want the different font weight. Now you can see that a login menu, it's a different font weight than that courses resources news. So just extend that class, instead of the styling, extend the class to that anchor tags. So course resources font weight is 400 and the login it's 500. Need to increase little bit, so add a class font weight 600. Just save and run, and let's see. Now we need to pick the primary color. I just take that inspect element and pick that color, it's a black only. So I set that primary color, that color black, and I'm going to style the button. Set the padding 20 pixel top bottom and the left right 30 pixel. Border set to 1 pixel solid. background set to transparent, and need to reduce the padding to bottom little bit. And the font weight set to 600. Copy all this style and paste it inside that button. Instead of this font weight 600, we can extend the class FW600. This is called nesting, CSS nesting. We can write the common classes here and we can extend that classes, so it's called nesting. Align item set to center for so that login and that sign up button vertically horizontally center. So I have added a class called align item. Align item set to center. The class name it align item center, and just save and paste it in that div. Now you can see login and sign up vertically horizontally center. So we need to add a little bit animation transition on that button and anchor. So I have added a scale class and set the scale 1 pixel, and on hover that transform scale set to 1.1, and for that anchor and button tag just extend that class scale, so it will affect in all button and anchor tag. Now you can see little bit of zoom effect, menus and button. And setting the background color for that section, just add a class called beach and add that class in a section. The first header section and the main section background is same, and below that we have an yellow color section, so I have added a class. So just add one more class content, one more div, and that class is called content. Inside that content just set the flex 100% and the layout set to raw. We are going to style the next section, that banner section. So set the flex 100% and the layout set to raw, and inside that div add one more div, flex set to 100%, 50%, and the same thing for the right hand side image. And inside that right hand side div just add that image path, that banner image path. I don't have that, so I just take this image from that dribbles, just so I just crop that assets. If you have that assets properly, you can use it clearly. That's why it's showing a little bit shadow on that bottom of that image. I just crop this image from that original image. Just adjusting that. So bottom of that image there is some little bit of shadow, so just save and run. Now you little bit is there, I can't do anything, so just keep it. For that content div, I have added one more class, pt40 and pb40. pt40 for the padding top 40 and the pb40 for the padding bottom 40 pixel. Say that pb bottom padding bottom set to 40 pixel and the pt40 class padding top set to 40 pixel. Why I have added this type of classes, like we can reuse it wherever we want, so that's why I have added common classes like pt40, pb40, fw400, 600, like that. Now we need to add the left hand side section. Inside that first div, the first sentence inside that h1 tag, and the second set to paragraph p tag, and apply. Now it's a button, wrap these things in a button. Why? Because it's in a single line. Apply now, and that watch video in a anchor tag. The button and that watch video menu is displayed in a single line, that's why I wrap, and we need to add that class. And for that watch now menu, you can see before that label there is one play button image, so I have added that image. Yes, add the path and alt tag and set the width 30 pixel. And a class called flex and the gap set to 20 pixel. For that div also set the class flex and gap 20 pixel. And the align item class set to the parent div. The same thing we need to do on that menu also. Align item, need to set the center for that play button and the menu label in vertically horizontal center. So now you can see you need to reduce the gap little bit. Now I'm going to style that h1 tag. If you know exactly what the size and the line height and all, you can just, if you have that proper asset, you can easily add. I don't have that access, so just so that's why I am experimenting this thing inside that inspect element. That font size set to 90 pixel and the line height also set to 90 pixel. Need to reduce little bit 70. The same line height also set to 70, and the max width set at 90%. maximum set to 80% and copy all the style. Margin set to 0 and copy the style and insert that content class, content h1 tag and the style. For the section class, the left right padding also set to 20 pixel. Previously I have set a top bottom 20, the left right is 0. Now I just remove that one and all over the padding set to 20 pixel. And now I'm going to style that description. Font size set to 18 pixel and the weight is 300 and the line height 30 pixel. Max width set to 80%. Need to reduce little bit. It also increase the line height and copy all the code and paste it inside the paragraph. For that button, background set to black and the color set to white, and also the button is little bit so little big, so I add one more class called primary. Inside that primary class add all this style and just copy that class name and add that class to that apply now button. We have already added that scale transition, so it will display all the button and anchors tag, and also that margin bottom set to 40 pixel for that paragraph. So we'll see, need to reduce that max width 200 to 100,100. Below that button there is one more section, add a div, and inside that div add one more sub div and another one. It's just a label kind of thing and class called flex. Just add a class and align item set to center, the gap set to 20 pixel. Need to reduce that font size 64. I'm trying to match that design, that's why I'm changing. If we know the text set size and all, I'll just add that font size. We will get that basic styling guide, so just add that. For that section, that 2 hour and that rupee symbol, we need to wrap that things in a span and add class called font weight 600. Same thing for that below section. That over and 800, you can see it's in a little bit bold. And I added one more div called bar. You can see there is left hand side of that text a small bar is there, so add a div called bar and the color is set to orange, and the second one bar and that color is pink, and I'm going to style that bar class. Width set to 4 pixel, the height 20 pixel. For that orange class, background set to orange color, and that pink one, background set to pink. For that div, just add a class called flex. The same for that bottom div also, flex. Now it will display it in a single line. That border radius set to 4 pixel. And the width will reduce little bit 4 to 3, and the margin right set to 20 pixel. Now 20 set to 12 pixel, and copy the style and paste it inside that bar class. And for that parent div, set the flex align item set to center, and go paste that style to that bar class. Margin right is 12 pixel, border radius set to 12. That padding top set to 40 for that. Just wrap all this section in one more div. That h1 to button in one more div, and below this section, and that first 50% div layout set to column, and the layout align set to space between. Start. Need to set the layout flex layout set to column. By default it's row, that's why it's displayed in a single line. Need to set it to column. For that content div min height set to 100 vh. Now you can see the space between these things. For that wrapper div, just set that min height 100 vh. We need to reduce that header height from this section, so just start that calculate calc function min height 100 vh minus that header height. We have added calc of 100 vh minus 107 pixel. Just copy this tile and then add a class called mh min height, and inside that mh height set to, and copy that class and paste it in that content class. Now you can see that find a skilled individual those thing, and that bottom section there is a gap. That mr12 class added for that 2 hours that span, and add a class margin right mr12, and inside that mr12 margin right set to 12 pixel. For that parent div of that 2 hour section, bit set to 100%, and the justify content set to space between. You can see these two sections how there is a space between each thing, so I have added a class called space between. Bar wrap and width set to 100%, and justify content set to space between. For that banner image, you need to set that flex layout align set to center, and this that image is vertically horizontally center of that left hand section, so align set to center. And container, for that h1 tag, that margin top 20 pixel set, and bottom the left to right set to 0. If you enjoy UI content like this, please like, share with your friends and family, and also don't forget to subscribe this channel. That image section layout flex with set 60%, and that left hand side need to reduce little bit, and also that max width, reduce the max width for that h1 max width, and also that p max width need to remove. Now you can see it's almost similar to that design. The right hand side is 60% width and left section is 40%. And also hover on that menu, you can see some little bit transition. Now we need to style that yellow section. For that, apply now and watch video gap, increase that gap. So I have added that class called 40 gap 40. Now we need to add one more section. We are going to build that yellow section. Inside that section, add a class called yellow. Just put an ampersand and add yellow. The background color set to yellow. Just pick that color and pick that exact color and replace that yellow with it. And also that padding top and bottom set that class added pt40 and pb40, and inside that section add a div and class container. Inside that container we have a scroll down button, and a h2 tag. There is some text, and after that there is one image. That join now image, and also we need to set that alt and width. And that right hand side there is 1% section, and also a label. label added in a p tag, and for that h3 90% added to that h3 tag. Just save and run. Now you can see all the text are displayed in a one by one. That join now image, need to increase that width 100 to 130 pixel, 160 pixel, and wrap all these things in a one more div, and the set of fx plus set to 100%. Not, I have added that class called flex, and the gap set to 40 pixel, and that align item center. For that h3 margin set to 0, and font size set to 44 pixel, line height also 44, not 44, we need to increase little bit. Copy this thing and inside that content, add h3 and paste the style here. The style is not displaying because there is no content class in that section, so I have added that class. So now it's displaying the style for the h3 style. This fonts are different, so you can't see that exact match. And now I'm just using that by default Angular font. Now I'm going to style that h2 tag. Font size set to 40 pixel, and also line height 40 pixel. Width set to 50%, and also font weight 300. Font weight set to 200. To reduce that font size little bit. Font size exactly font size 30 pixel, and the line height 50, and the width 50%, and the font weight is 200. Just save and run. Let's see. If you have any doubt, please add a comment. I will definitely reply it, and also add a suggestion what I need to improve and all. Please feel free to add the comment, and also hit the bell icon if you like this video, and also do the subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can get a notification if I uploaded the next video. We need to style that scroll section. That scroll down, there is one image at the bottom down arrow, so I added that image. Down arrow, and add a class called s down, that means scroll down, and for that scroll down display flex, set to display flex. That image is not displaying. I think that path is not correct. Flex direction set to column. That the path name is not correct, that's why the image is not displaying. That flex direction set to column, so it displayed one by one, and for that anchor tag transforms rotate set to minus 90 degree, rotate set to minus 90 degree. They also width set to max content. Align item set to center. That scroll down menu, margin stop set to minus. I am just experimenting this thing. First just copy that anchor tag style. The same thing for that scroll down section. Instead of this display flex style, we can extend that flex class. The same thing for that align item also. I can extend dot align item center. Now we need to extend that image. For that image, I have added that margin to 42 pixel for that arrow down image. For that x down class, we need to add a transform translate to y0 and transition all, and on hover of that button transform translate to y set to 5 pixel. You can see on scroll down that menu there is little bit transition on that downside, so we can assume that this says scroll down, it's showing that down movement. For that parent class, added that space between for that it's down class margin left set to minus 30 pixel. Because of that rotation, this alignment is little different, that's why adding margin left 30 pixel. That goes on hover, you can see the little bit of zoom animation, and scroll down button there is animation or move down animation. So this is the design, and so now we are going to do that responsiveness. For that fx layout set to column for the less than mg devices, and also that fx plus less than mg devices, that 40 set to 100%. The same thing for the 60% that image div. Now just save and see. and also the flex layout gap in less than MD devices set to 60 pixel. Now we can see the gap between the first two sections. Add a class called MD column, and for that MD devices less than MD devices, for the tab devices inside that media query max width 959 pixel. I'm just adding that class MD column, and inside that column class set the flex direction column. By default it's row, we need to add its column, and also we need to remove that class align item center for MD devices. So I have added ng class less than MD, that align item center MD only, that MD column set to true, and that align item center set to false for MD devices. That MD column class displayed less than MD only, it's active, and for that wrap class inside that wrap, that content h1 h2 h3 and all header tags max width set to 100%, width set to 100, max width 100%. We need to set the width 100%. Now we need to style that header section. That ng class less than MD, dnone class. I have added a class called dnone, the dnone class for the display none, display set to none, and the dnone set to true. If you want to write that conditional classes for this inside the HTML, we can use that ng classes. Based on that condition we can hide or display the things. Need to set that import. By default it's display none style is taking, so I have added that import. Let us scroll down. We need to align on the left hand side. Position set to fixed, and right set to 0 and the bottom set to 0, and also that background color set to that yellow color. Right set to 20 pixel, the bottom also set to 20 pixel. Just add a little bit of padding, and the border radius 12 pixel. Reduce this padding. That font weight set to 700. Just copy this style and add it. That is down class, added this style for less than MD devices only. To reduce that button left and right padding, 20 pixel for small devices. And also reduce that font size, H1 font size 64 to 45, and also reduce that line height to 54, and copy the style and paste it inside that media query. Same things for this button also, we need to reduce. To reduce the padding and min width set to fit content. That bottom section of that bar wrap section, that MD column set to true for this section. And that align item center set to false. And also we can reduce that H2 font size little bit, set to 30 pixel, and also that line height 40 pixel. For that only 3 tags, H2 tags. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also share with your friends and family. This is the final output. Hope you guys are liked it. Thanks for watching and hit the subscribe if you like this video. Thank you.